How's it going, guys? Shape here and welcome to the channel. This video is going to cover the best methods I have found to make 100,000 gold per week or more with little to no effort and in a short amount of time invested. None of these methods on the list will require you to use the auction house, so they will all be raw gold. I am going to list the methods in order of time it takes to complete to get your 100,000 gold for the week. I know not everyone has but so many hours to farm for gold, so I try to keep that in mind with these methods. Some of these methods are going to either require a certain profession or would be more gold per hour if you had the profession, so keep that in mind. Also, I don't think any one of these methods are necessarily better than the other. It is just going to depend on what characters and professions that you have available to you. They are all going to be very easy to farm and you won't have to pay too much attention to any of them. So with that said, let's hop into it and find out what those methods are. Be sure to turn on your notifications, make sure you have that bell rung, and drop a like so you don't miss any of my future content. If you have any questions, drop a comment or tweet at me. The first method we are going to discuss to get 100,000 gold per week with very little effort is the Stonehide leather shuffle. Now this can be done in a lot of different places in the Broken Isles, but my favorite spot is going to be located here on the map, and we are going to be targeting the blood gazers. If you are max level, this will be very easy to kill these mobs. Once I gathered as many as I could up, I just did an AoE ability and one-shot most of the mobs. I would note that these have a weird leash range, so I wouldn't try to get but a few of the packs together so you aren't leashing any of them. Since they die so fast, it really isn't a big deal to do them in smaller packs to ensure this. You will also want to make sure you have the Legion glove enchant on one of your pairs of gloves to swap to while you're over here. The enchant is going to save you a lot of time actually skinning the mobs and increase your overall total of Stonehide leather. Now if the spot is too competitive and you aren't able to get a good amount of mobs killed, then here are the rest of the spots you can farm for the Stonehide leather. I don't ever really have too many people out here with me, and if I do, we kinda just stay on our side of the zone and the mobs respawn fast enough to not really make it too big of a deal. I would suggest you try this with war mode on and war mode off to see if you have any better luck. I was able to get around 4,000 Stonehide leather each time I did this farm. Now the 4,000 was an average of 10 runs, so you might be able to get a little more or a little less depending on how fast you were going. Bloods of Sargeras also dropped from these mobs, and over the 10 run average it was around 60. If you head over to Dalaran, you'll be able to exchange these for an assortment of different items. I chose to turn mine into more Stonehide leather for the purposes of this video. After turning the Bloods of Sargeras into more Stonehide leather, I had a grand total of around 4,600 Stonehide leather on average. Now, onto the shuffle part of this farm. You will want to craft warhide shoulder guards on your leatherworker. I was originally making the pants because they sold overall for more, but with the help of some of you guys commenting on previous videos, I was able to do a bigger case study, and you do indeed end up making more gold off of the shoulder guards even though they don't sell for as much on average. Make sure you have rank 3 as well. If you don't, you will not be able to create as many of the shoulder guards in the end. If you already don't have this unlocked, then it will take you some time to level up your Legion leatherworking and unlock rank 3 because it is tied to some pretty annoying quests, so just a warning on that for you guys. If you do have flying for Legion, it won't take you too long anymore. With the 4,600 Stonehide leather, you will be able to create 383 warhide shoulder guards. These sell to the vendor for 28 gold a piece, and these bad boys have a chance to proc and create an epic version of the shoulder guards, and that sell for 38 gold a piece. I have been doing this farm for quite a while, and I would say on average you get to proc around 15% of the time. Unfortunately, there is no enchant to make you craft faster, so you gotta sit there and do this the old fashioned way. After it is all said and done, you will be able to vendor all of the shoulder guards, and for an hour of your time you will get a little over 11,000 gold for your efforts. At that rate of gold per hour, you will only have to put in 9 hours a week to get to this goal of 100,000 gold in a week. That is raw gold, guys, and you never have to worry about the auction house. This is definitely an easy one to add to your list if you already haven't been doing it. The next method on the list to make 100,000 gold per week with little effort is the 2x4 Suramar farm. I have talked about 2x4 farms in some other videos, but those farms were primarily focused around getting the mounts. You could average around 5,000 gold per hour with those farms, but you were really there just for the mount drops, and that would require the auction house to bring in most of the profit. The Suramar farm has the same concept, as you want to have 2 groups with 4 members each to hyperspawn the ads and AoE them down. The only difference with this farm is you're going to be able to double your raw gold per hour here. On average, I get around 10,000 raw gold per hour while doing this farm. Not only is that double the raw gold per hour, but you are also going to be getting a ton of cloths from these mobs. If you are a tailor or have a tailoring character, then you can send the cloth to them to turn into the silk weave pantaloons. Make sure you are rank 3 in that to make the most return on your investment. If you do that shuffle, then you will make a heck of a lot more gold per hour and average around 15,000 raw gold. That means for only 10 hours of your time per week, you will be making that 100,000 gold just from looting the mobs and selling everything else to the vendor. Now, if you're able to do the tailoring shuffle, this would cut down your hours per week down to under 7 hours of farming to achieve the 100,000 gold per week. Either way, that is very little time you need to invest. There are a few different spots in Suramar that people are doing these at, but here is where most of the farms are happening. Just go to your custom group finder and type in Suramar and you will see a ton of groups doing this most likely. Now, the next few farms I'm going to discuss are all tied together and are going to come from raid content. The best raids to farm for raw gold are going to be all in the Warlords of Draenor content. This method is going to be very dependent on how many characters you have to run these raids, so if you don't have a lot of alts, then this method may not get you to the 100,000 gold per week. To get to the 100,000 gold per week, you will need to have 5 characters that can clear these raids. Since it is old content, you don't necessarily need to have max level characters or even geared characters for that matter. Depending on what you have available will determine how fast you are able to clear these raids as well. You will also want to clear these raids on all difficulties for 25 man in order to get the most raw gold. Our first stop is going to be High Mall, which is located in the Grand. If you clear these raids on all difficulties, you can expect to walk out of here with a little under 4,000 gold. The total amount of time for all the runs is going to be around 35 to 40 minutes of your time. After you get done in High Mall, we are going to stay in Warlords of Draenor and head over to Blackrock Foundry. Blackrock Foundry is located in Gorgron. This is also where the raw gold starts to really pick up for the raids. Running this raid on all difficulties will net you around 7,000 raw gold for 50 minutes to an hour of your time. If you guys didn't play during Warlords of Draenor, then this raid can be kinda confusing your first time in. After the first couple of times running through it, you should be able to shave off a lot of time in here. Again, make sure you're doing this on all difficulties because the raw gold is definitely worth it here. Now, for you mount collectors, there is also a bonus to doing this raid. Most people probably won't have the mount from here, and that is the mount drop from Blackhand. The Ironhoof Destroyer is the mount you have a chance of receiving after killing Blackhand in Mythic mode. According to Wowhead, this mount has a drop chance of 2.45%. I haven't personally seen this mount drop in any of the runs I have done, so once again, good luck on this mount. Hellfire Citadel is going to be the last raid on the list, and it is located in the Tannin Jungle. Now, Hellfire Citadel is going to take you the longest out of all these raids to clear, but it will also net you the highest amount of raw gold, so it is definitely worth the time. To clear on all difficulties, you're looking at around an hour and a half or so. There are a lot of bosses and they aren't too close to one another. With that being said, you are still going to walk away with a little over 11,000 raw gold after you're done. This is by far the best raw gold raid farm you can currently be doing. There is also a mount drop from Mythic Archimon. At a 3.92% drop chance, you could walk away with the Fellsteel Annihilator. A pretty sweet looking mount as well, so good luck to you guys as I haven't seen this one drop yet either. Clearing all 3 of these raids will take you around 3 hours per character, so if we do it on 5 characters, then that will total to around 15 hours to complete this method. After it is all said and done, you will have around 20,000 gold per character or 100,000 gold for the 5 characters needed for this method. The last method I'm going to discuss is the Skyreach dungeon farm. Skyreach is a nice relaxing dungeon farm and you will enjoy around 400 to 500 gold per run, totaling up to 4,000 to 5,000 gold per lockout. Since the mobs in here are only level 100, they are barely going to touch you on a max level character. To most effectively pull this dungeon and do it in 4 minutes or less, I suggest you pull everything up to the 3rd boss. To do this, first kill the first boss, which lowers the gate so you can keep on moving. Then kill the mob right in front of the 2nd boss in order to spawn that boss and kill him. Once you are done with all of that, just go over to the 3rd boss and drag the rest of the mobs behind the pillar to line of sight them and AoE them down. Now, for whatever reason you are getting anywhere close to the 6-minute mark on your clears in here, I would suggest you pick up a couple of items to make you go a little faster. On my Demon Hunter, I didn't find this necessary as I was already clearing in under 4 minutes. To speed things up, go and buy some Swiftness potions, or if you're an avid PvPer, then you will most likely have some of these potions from doing that. The second method is going to go by an item called Fried, and this will come in handy once you kill the third boss and want to skip the wind tunnel run. What you want to do is go to right about here and use this item to aggro that set of mobs. Once they are aggroed, the wind tunnel will despawn and you can walk up to the stairs instead of dealing with that. Also, if you are a caster and have a long range AoE ability, then you can do this without the bombs. This method is probably the one you have to pay the least attention to, but you will also spend the most amount of time to get to your 100,000 gold per week. With the average of being 4,000 to 5,000 gold per week, this will take you 20 to 25 hours to achieve. Now that starts to get into the 3 to 4 hours per day required to hit that mark, but like I said, it is probably the most AFKable method on the list and requires almost no effort on your part besides just running with your character. For that reason, I would probably only recommend focusing on this method if you are unable to do the other methods for whatever reason, since this is over double the time of the rest of those methods on the list. Well, there you have it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to let me know what other gold farms you're currently doing that are successful. Please drop a like if you enjoyed the video to show some love for the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.